Hi everyone, and welcome back to Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. We have two stories today, and the first story is titled Together 10 Years, Married for 2, and she is asking for a separation. Last month, my wife started acting a little distant towards me and asked me if we could separate. Now, this came as a shock to me because just last week we were trying to have a baby. I immediately started trying to find a cause for this and remembered she was texting a co-worker a lot for long tips since we were doing some landscaping in our backyard. I decided to just observe her during that week, and I did notice some changes in her behavior, like going to work earlier, hiding her phone, putting extra care into herself, etc. So I started snooping, went through her messages between her and another man, and found out that my suspicions were unfortunately warranted as they were having a relationship. I gathered as much as evidence as I could and stashed various copies away, so I would always have it if I needed it. I then brought it up with her, which she completely denied until I showed her the evidence. She broke down crying, apologizing, saying that she did not mean to hurt me. Then we started talking about it. She said that she has not felt a connection or physical attraction towards me for at least 5 years, and that she has been trying by herself to fix it. This was news to me. She also stated that the experience between her and AP was exciting and refreshing, and she could not stop entertaining it. I asked her to cut contact, and she said she would. 1 week later, my wife and I had a big argument because I realized through snooping that she did not cut the AP off. That same day, she took off work and drove to his house where they proceeded to be close with each other. I know this because few days after the fight, she confessed to me while crying. She said that it was never physical and she wasn't fully comfortable going that far, but I don't believe her. She's been lying to me non-stop since this started. I kept giving her chances to prove her loyalty to me. I kept asking her to cut the AP off. She would agree and block him for 1 day, but then be texting him the next day. This continued up until this week, and I'm sure the texting did not stop. We've been to marriage counseling, and the therapist clearly understood what my wife wants after hearing her story. He looked me in the eye and said that she wants to experience a single individual life where she makes her own decisions and where she has the freedom to experience other men if she wants. He said the only option is that I let her do her thing while do a complete separation and let her choose to come back to me. The thing is, I love my wife, but I'm not comfortable her having other relationships while we are separated, which brought me here in hopes of getting advice and support from the people who have been in a similar situation. Quick piece of history since I haven't given much background. My wife hasn't been single since she was very young, and she also feels like she's doing everything that others want her to do, but nothing for herself. She has told me countless times how unhappy she is with her life. She feels her life is like on autopilot. I genuinely do believe that she needs to be alone to figure out herself because of the above facts. Edit. I think this is a good place to start standing up for myself and holding my ground. I've always been there for her, and when she got COVID, I stood by her and nursed her back to health. She has very low self-confidence, always comparing herself to the pretty girls. However, we are both attractive and in decent shape. I do have love for her, but I'm definitely not going to be taken for granted anymore. She cannot do whatever she wants and expect me to be waiting for her return. We don't have kids and the money is already split. We have a mortgage though. I have already contacted the law firm and set up an initial consultation with the divorce lawyer. Funny thing is, she still wants me to spend time with her family and use my car during the separation. I know that she believes that I always be there. At the therapist today, she was asked if she'd be surprised if I filed for divorce, and she said yes. LMAO. Little does she know that I have already contacted a lawyer and about to evaluate my options. The other guy is not married, but I'm definitely going to be exposed this affair to her family. End of the story. Well, OP, I think you're doing everything right. You cannot expect your wife to go and experience other men and then come back to you when she had enough. Start divorce proceedings and focus on yourself. Good luck. With that said, let's jump into the next story. The story is titled, My Husband's Reaction After He Found Out. I made a huge mistake and I will spend the rest of my life regretting my choices. Me and my husband married for 11 years at the time this happened. We are currently 1 year out from my secret relationship and nearly 4 months since D-Day. Postpartum depression, coupled with the loss of my good job and my husband being out of work too. We were both hobbling together part-time work to make ends meet. We were stressed and we both felt unappreciated. He was drinking too much and my self-esteem was very low. I was also on IUD, non-hormonal birth control, after having been hormonal birth control for years. I had terrible PMS and mood swings. I also started to become physically excited around other men. It all came to a head when a guy at work started showing me attention. I rationalized my choices. I felt like my husband didn't care about me anyway. I thought if I could find happiness elsewhere, because I wasn't getting it from my husband, then I could continue to be a good wife and mother. I thought it would be okay because I did not love this guy. He could never be seen as a rival for my husband, and I would never be tempted to leave my family for him. In spite of that, I became infatuated with the newness of it all. I felt like a user. I made one stupid choice after another. My husband knew something was going on. He did not know enough, but I knew that the game was up. I found another job in another state and convinced my husband to come with me. I knew that removing myself from the situation is the best thing for the family. Even then, months later, in a moment of weakness, I returned a message he sent me, sparking a day-long chat session. And then, finally it was over. Our last contact had been 6 months before D-Day. The move did not make everything better. I had a job I loved, but my husband had been out of work, depressed and stuck with the kids. He was still drinking and determined to be mean, moody and unemotional. You name it. I wondered if I made a mistake by wanting to stay with him. When he became jealous when I had spoken to a friend, he asked me if I had been unfaithful, and I felt like I didn't have anything to lose by finally telling him the truth. He left for a few days and thankfully came back. I know it was for the kids. I don't care. I'm just so happy he did. We had a roller coaster those first 2 months. A lot of hysterical bonding, followed by screaming matches. I can honestly say that I love my husband with all my heart, and I feel closer to him now that I have in years. I see now that at the time of the relationship, I had little empathy for him. I couldn't see the hurt I was causing him. I feel it now. I have completely cut off AP and the others that my husband has issues with. I am maintaining professional boundaries at my new job. I have opened up my phone records and emails to him. I started with a therapist and we have an upcoming session. I am making every effort to be present, caring and understanding when he starts to ruminate on the past. Some days are worth staying for. Most days are average. Some days I feel like a verbal punching bag, especially after too much to drink. I can feel the contempt in his voice. He confided recently that he had dating app profiles and was chatting with other people. While I was out of town, he suggested that he want to meet up with someone. I was crushed. I want him to be happy. I want to be fair to him. But where will it end? He said he wants to be even and that I have no right to be upset because he's been honest. So, is he entitled to the same number of times? 6 times with one partner or 6 times with different partners? How long will it drag on? Months? Years? Decades? Even then, I feel like he will say it still isn't as bad because he did not lie to me like I did to him. I understand that I destroyed what we had, but I feel like all my efforts are now dismissed and minimalized. How can I be all in when he clearly has one step out of the door? He insists that this need to happen and that I should be thankful that he is here at all. I'm just really confused. I have read several books and articles about recovering after affairs, and I haven't seen much advocating tit-for-tat cheating. Edit. My decision to come clean after too long did not have anything to do with knowing he wouldn't leave me for the sake of the kids. When he left, I did not think he was coming back. When he did return, I knew it had to be for the kids, and I was grateful that we would at least have an opportunity to work out some of these issues that had been eating away at both of us for far too long. Believe me when I say that I'm not taking that second chance for granted. I explained why I came clean. I was pressed on it and I didn't want to lie anymore. I feel guiltier now than I did then. I had very little empathy for my husband at the time. I changed my phone number when we moved last May. I was relieved that I did not have AP's number and he didn't have mine. AP Facebook messaged me about 3 weeks after we moved. We chatted that day and I sent him a pic. I did not hear back from him. I was angry at myself that I gotten involved again. I messaged him to never text me, ever. About a week after D-Day, my husband was talking about returning to our old town to try and find AP and kick his bottom. I sent an email to AP telling him that he might be expecting a visitor. I also told him not to give any details that my husband would find hurtful. That was the very last communication I had with AP. AP and I have no relationship and haven't for close to a year. I don't pine for him or wish him well. AP wasn't good in bed at all. Then why, you ask? I guess because he made me feel better about myself, just by virtue of being a warm body that showed any interest at all in me outside of capacity of cooking, cleaning, or wiping snotty toddler noses. End of the story. Well, OP, I really feel that you deserve a second chance, and I wish you and your family the best of luck. Please like, comment, and share the story if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.